Hello, hello, everyone. We are on day 16 of 21 Days to Receiving Good. And today's topic is letting love in. And what do I mean by that? I think that's a statement, at least for me, that I know it's like, oh, yeah, okay. But do we really pay attention to what that means? And I talked about the parts work on yesterday's video and how I simplified it. But I really, truly believe that so much of our healing has to do with going back and healing that child within us, because that's who tends to run our show. So, and we learn to treat ourselves the way we were treated. So if we're harsh with ourselves, it's highly, highly, highly likely people were harsh with you when you were younger. And I know in my upbringing, the way I thought of myself was just entirely unworthy, unlovable, all that. And I think it's a shame that so many of us have been taught that stuff either by different authority figures in our life, different religions, which I will say that teach us, we're unworthy unless we're absolved of sin and stuff like that. And for me personally, I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe. I like to take the stance now, especially that we came in with knowing all the goodness within us, knowing everything. We came in fresh. That story about the little boy going and wanting to see his little sister, baby, teach me about God. I'm beginning to forget. We learn to fall asleep to those truths. So again, I highly recommend, and whether you're male or female, to have a picture, at least one of you as a young child, in a prominent place around your house that you can look at. And really, that's who you want to let love into when you think about it. Sometimes, and this is what's interesting, we think about, I got to let love into myself. And it's like, do you really allow that? Do you really allow yourself to let love in from yourself? Because often what happens is we seek that outside of ourselves. We look to our partner, or we look to our children, or we look to other people in our lives to fill us up with the love that's missing inside, instead of knowing it starts with us, going within and reparenting that inner child and sending the love to ourselves, giving to ourselves the very thing that we want from someone else. And when we start to do that, we seek it less from our partner, from our parents, from our children. It's huge. And I think I know this gets talked about, but I don't know. I haven't heard it talked about a lot, but I know in relationships, if you think about what's put out there, let's say just from a purely romantic sense, if you really pay attention to most love songs, they're highly codependent. I'll be lost without you. Even I remember seeing an interview, it was actually on one of Oprah and Deepak's meditation calls, and she was talking about the movie Jerry Maguire, and when she was interviewing Tom Cruise, and the whole line, "You complete me," and she said to him, "Tom, that really messed a lot of people up, because then they went out thinking that they should be completed by somebody else." I would say that was already in place, that most of us have learned and been programmed and trained to seek the love outside of ourselves, to find our soulmate, the one that's there that's going to fill us up, to find our other half, our better half, all of that, instead of believing that we're whole and complete in and of ourselves. And when you find more and more of that in yourself, you start to seek it less outside of yourself. And the thing that I found interesting, and this is a bit of a slow progression for me, is I noticed the less and less I look to someone outside of myself to give me the love that I know I'm seeking, and I give it to myself, the irony is I get it. I get it outside of myself, because I'm no longer, I like that Tosha Silver's term, grasping. I'm no longer trying to find it outside of myself. I'm giving it to myself. And that's why, to me, And I think I told this story, but I'm going to tell it again. I flipped on the TV the other day when I was packing up some stuff in the living room here at this house that we're slowly transitioning out of. And I flipped on the TV and the movie Castaway was on. And it's the scene where Tom Hanks and Helen Hunt reunite after he comes back from being stranded on a desert island for 5 years. And there's this moment where they have this long embrace and kiss and, you're the love of my life and this. And I noticed when I was watching that, I had this moment of a pang of, oh, and I immediately went, oh my God, my inner child needs some love. And I grabbed the photo I have of myself and I just sent loving kindness to that child. I imagined myself picking my child self up and hugging her. I have 2 girls, a stepdaughter and then my daughter. And I love the love that I feel for both of them is tremendous. And I think about giving that to my own inner, I keep looking over there because there's where that one picture is and I have another one here. Giving that love to that child within me and viscerally experiencing that. It's huge. And that's how I am learning more and more to let more love in by loving, sending love to my child self. And it's profound. It's profound what it does. Even if you're like, what is she talking about? I'm not going to do that. Or what? Just don't believe me. Try it and see and give it some time. And when you notice those pangs, or say you notice with your partner, you want something from them and you feel that sort of grasping, and that's the potential where, oh my God, I could get in an argument here. They're not doing what I want them to do. Can't they read my mind or whatever it is? Try this instead. Turn to that picture of you and send love to that child, because that's the part of us that's up there. Mommy, daddy, love me. Somebody love me. Try it and see. It's profound. And when I did that, that whole feeling just dissipated and I just felt lighter and better. So let's just do some tapping. Even though I want to let more love in, and I don't always know what that means, I choose to acknowledge I feel this way. Even though I want to let more love in, I think I do. But the truth is, a lot of times, I'm seeking it outside of myself. Even though I want to let love in to myself, me loving and honoring me more. I acknowledge myself and my feelings now. And go to the eyebrow. I want to let more love in. And what if that's giving and receiving love to myself, the most important person in my life? What if that's the way to let love in? I have a little child in me who so long ago didn't get the love that was needed. So in my very human form, I've been grasping for love ever since. Mostly outside of myself. Looking to find someone else to give to me what I can find within myself. Learning to love and nurture that child within me. Sending loving kindness to that wounded little child? What if, whenever I catch myself grasping for love outside of myself, I can remind myself to turn within, to practice sending loving kindness, healing that little child in me, reparenting that child within me. And the more I do that, the more I'm letting love in to myself, from myself. And what if the more I do that, the less I seek it outside of myself? And the irony is, I start to get the things I want from other people because I'm free. I'm free of the grasping, free of the attachment, free of the need to get it from someone else. I like that idea a lot. What if it starts by just noticing the attachment to someone else giving me the love that I'm seeking from within? And as I learn to give it to myself more and more, I heal myself more and more. And before I know it, I start to notice I'm grasping less and less for love outside of me. And I get it anyway. I really like that idea a lot. And what if it's a process and a practice? And I can get there step by step, a little more each and every day. And take a breath. So try that. Again, like I said, do it as an experiment. You don't have to believe me, and just go, what if I could do that? I really find this is so profound. And that saying, hey, Barbara, just at the end, happy you're here. You could go back and tap on the beginning. But if you start to really nurture and love that little child, that you're letting love in from yourself to yourself, the irony is this stuff that we've all taught to seek outside of ourselves, which we've been programmed to do, like I said, listen to any love song and in a romantic sense, and think about, I actually know people, and if you're one of them, it's interesting to me, that said they had children because they want to know that their children will take care of them as they get older. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. I think, when your kids are in the prime of their life and you're getting older, they're supposed to take care of you. It's nothing I've ever been in agreement with. Personally, it's just my take. I definitely love the idea. I think the Native Americans had it down where they had the whole communal living thing, and everybody just took care of each other. I think that's actually a fabulous system. There's places like that now, but more it's like that. But to me, that's grasping. Like, to me, that's that, well, I have to have kids so that they can take care of me in older life, or my partner has to fill me up with the things, you complete me, that whole thing. It's like, no, when you send that loving kindness to your child within and start letting love in to yourself, from yourself, it is profound how it starts to change. And like I said, the beauty is you get the stuff you want anyway, because you're free of the attachment and the grasping. It's kind of that, I don't know if you want to call it a cosmic joke or whatever it is, but I see this every time I release my attachment to a fixed outcome, to something I expect somebody else to do. And when I free myself of that, the irony is I get that anyway. It's so, and the funny thing is, and then I'm like, well, I'm not attached to it, so I don't really need it. It's kind of sweet that I get it, but I've given it to myself. And I truly believe that is the only true freedom that we really have. And again, we live in a culture that programs us to the opposite. Our spouse has to complete us. Our children have to be there for us. We have to get this love outside of ourselves, instead of learning, I've got to give it to me, and then I get it anyway in spades from such a free place. So Barbara, so happy you were here live. And I could tell it's a good one. Always happy to see your smiling face in the upper right corner there and their printout. So that's it. Day 16. We're back tomorrow with day 17 of 21 days to receiving good. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now. Bye, Barbara.